In the previous episode, we used the adamantine forge to create some mithril gear, which is pretty sweet. Got myself a splint armor, which is a heavy armor. And then I gave, what's her face? Karlach, a scale mail. So I'm feeling pretty good about that. Don't really feel like I need any weapons. Our weapons are quite good, especially mine. So let's go ahead and head on up our elevator, because today we need to go to the Moonrise Towers. I believe this is the way to do it. You're about to make progress. You're in your venture. Make sure you tie up loose ends. Ooh, you know what? Let's do that, right? I wasn't expecting that. Help the cursed monk. Travel to Worm's Crossing. Found an amulet. It's been possessed by spirit. Right. So really nothing I could do there. Free the artist. So gotta look for him at Baldur's Gate. Trust the butler. All right, butler is the or Dark Urge. Discover the artifact secret. Follow the map. That's in the mountains, okay? And then find more parasites to absorb, grow your power, blah, blah, blah. I honestly found the Book of Necromancy. What should we do with it? I don't know. I don't think we really need to clear that up. Like, if we go to our map and we look at, is it gonna let me look at different things? Probably not. Wait, do I need to rest? No, I've got everything. You know what? I think we're good. I'm pretty sure at this point that I've cleared as much up as I'm gonna get. So it's time to go up to this this tower. Maybe. I don't know exactly where it's gonna take us. This is our first time coming across a message like that in the game, where it's like, hey, make sure that you don't leave stuff behind. It's like, well, I'm glad that I feel like I've gone through and actually done that. Are we gonna get like a cutscene? Because I'm so excited right now for what could possibly happen. I have no idea. I've not seen any of this. Oh, leave Act 1? We've just finished Act 1! Oh, that's cool. For something altogether darker. Ooh, uh-oh. Okay, we're out. That was it. That was Act 1. That feels a little anticlimactic. Reach Moonrise Towers. Okay, so we're like right underneath. There's a trunk. There's a couple plaques. What does the plaque say?
We offer our prayers to the Dark Lady, whose comfort and grace heals all.
Oh, okay. So this is like a Shar thing. So Shadowheart's really gonna like this.
We offer our pain to the Lady of Loss, that she may truly know her faithful.
Okay. Can I just open this? No, it's locked. Okay. What's this plaque say?
We offer ourselves to the darkness, that blessed Shar may give us her mercy.
Okay, let's quick save. That doesn't sound good. Right. Asterion, buddy. Can you lockpick this? I just want to make sure I'm not gonna like die as soon as I open this up. Like offering ourselves. Man, that was a hot roll. Probably the best I'm gonna roll today. What's inside? Torches, potions. You know what? I'll take that. I'll send all this to myself. Potion of mind reading too. Interesting that they have torches. I think I have a couple.
Never a dull moment.
Not that I'm like feeling necessary to do it.
All's well that ends.
Interesting light things here, where the light gets dark when I'm on Asterion here. Then I switched to me, or who was it? Shadowheart? Oh, it's smooth. The lighting was changing on that chest when I was switching back and forth. Am I crazy? Did I miss that? Is that something you guys saw too? Or am I just going nuts? Don't gaslight me. I'll know. I'll go back and look at editing.
More for me.
It's a chasm creeper. Okay, don't know actually. I'm assuming it's just materials. Ooh, who's this? The weary traveler. Is that Gandalf? Ooh, broken moon lantern.
I should speak up.
Who there, wanderer? Stay thy course a moment to indulge an old man. May I inquire if perchance you retain among your traveling companions a man who adheres to the given name of Gale?
Yes, actually, as a matter of fact, he's resting in camp.
Ever a man of leisure. Would it pain you greatly to assist me along the little voyage I intend to undertake to this aforementioned camp?
I guess. I'd like to know first who I'm bringing to see Gale.
Should it be the nature of our acquaintance that interests you, well, you may safely classify Gale and I as friends. Should it be the nature of your present interlocutor that you desire to drag from the dark and unknown, I shall be glad to aid in your quest for illumination and identify myself as Elminster Aumar. Now, if this answer satisfies you, let us linger no longer in this.
I mean, sure. Let's go.
Who there, wanderer? Stay thy course a moment to indulge an old.
Wait, is it redoing the conversation?
May I inquire if
Yes.
perchance you
Yeah.
among your
Why is it redoing it?
companions,
Is this sure? It'd be my pleasure.
and I would confirm it to be so. Please, after you.
That was really weird. What a bug. Okay, so we're gonna have to talk to them, I see. Cool. Immediately getting a new camp here. I'm really liking this. It's really pretty. There's a lot of stuff going on here. I wanted to say I'm still struggling with this cold that I got. My throat's been killing me. Last night went to bed, I felt like I was gonna lose my voice. Woke up just fine. Got about halfway through the day, starts hurting again. So I may have to cut this episode short. On top of that, I'm really busy right now, but that's not in relation to the episode length. However, another thing is, man, I had all right. Quick story time for Zen. Quick story time. Back when I was a wee old lad and I was in high school, I had a root canal done on one of my molars on the top right, and thought nothing of it. Just got it done. It sucked. I hated that whole thing. It actually gave me a really bad taste for dentists for the rest of my life. I hate dentists because that dentist was terrible. Though the ones I've been to within the last couple of years, they've been fine. Whatever, they're fine. But the crown that they put over the root canal, I only recently learned this in the last couple of years. Those things wear out and they will crack and break. And so that happened earlier this week. I had that crown for the root canal, part of it crack and break apart. And I've just had the worst toothache for like the last day and a half now. And it sucks. I'm like having to take ibuprofen to get rid of it. I'm having to figure out a schedule to get in and get it taken care of. It just sucks. So like on top of the throat not feeling good, now I got this and I'm super busy. We'll talk about the busyness as we go, but let's go ahead and have a conversation here.
My thanks for your excellent guidance.
Stupid Gale and his helmet. I just gotta take it off of him.
Yonder I spy the object of my pursuit.
Elminster?
The very same, Gale. And a fair bit miffed he is, too, finding himself forced to expose his best pair of boots to so many miles of country road on your behalf.
I don't understand. How so on my behalf?
I was bid to spare neither time nor my own self to find you. She sent me, Gale. You know of whom I speak.
But why? Out with it, Elminster. Please.
Young man, has your sojourn away from Bortity washed away your decorum as well as your patience? Nigh a 10-day I've gone without honest fare, worthy of the name, drank naught but what the sky entitled my thirst. Why, some bread, cheese, and a cup of wine would appear unto me a feast. Surely you won't begrudge me a mite of rest and repast before I get out with it.
I like this guy. Yes, Gale. Where's your decorum? No, I can part with some of my rations. I've got a lot. You know, this is the point where if this was a cartoon or a TV show or something like that, it would then pan over to my stash that has food molding and literally falling out of it because I've hoarded so much food.
And a great kindness that would be. See, Gale, even in these barren parts, the art of hospitality begets inspired new works, if only one keeps up the practice.
Oh, for the
lover.
Fine, fine. I'll turn a deaf ear to the clarion calls with which my scorned stomach beseeches me. Graver matters are at hand. Plenty to digest, after all. A good deal to stew over, if you will. Words ladled with import should be savored so as to better absorb their meaning. Wouldn't you agree?
Elminster.
Right. You see,
My kind of wizard.
that is to say, Gale, my boy, I've come to address a most pressing matter. I'll speak as plainly as I can, forswearing the accustomed frills that decorate my speech. I'm here on behalf of Mistra. The message and the charge I bring you are hers.
As I just sit there and stare at him. You were sent here as an actual divine messenger? I'm surprised she sent you in the first place after Gale's debacle. Or what message and what charge would that be? Or speak fast then, for none of this pertains to me. Now, let's be like, are you actually a divine messenger?
Oh, Mistra's delicate feet are ill-suited for the hardships of the road.
You know where you went wrong, Gale. No, we needn't dwell on that here and now. But even so, you're to be given a chance of redemption.
Mistra would consider forgiveness.
She would consider what she considers to be forgiveness. Mistra is aware of the misadventures that have befallen you both. She knows of your strife with the Absolute, that most insidious of evils.
If the goddess herself is aware, I wouldn't say no to some divine intervention. That's very true, especially as a paladin, right? Even if the gods know, why are we facing these threats alone? Ooh. That's a good point. You wouldn't happen to know of a cure, would you? No, let's be like, wait a second. Why are we facing these threats alone? If the gods know that the Absolute is so powerful and evil, like, why wouldn't one of our gods intervene? Why isn't Shar jumping in to help?
They choose the instruments of their will with great precision. Sometimes the single drops we think we are do not realize what waves we are building up to be.
Did you just call me a tool?
Do not discount yourself. And by the same token, do not discount your enemy. You must know that the Absolute is more dangerous than you can possibly conceive. It threatens all who live, even those who are undying. It threatens the gods, the weave, the very fabric of the universe itself. That is why I have come here to charge you, Gale, with its destruction. It is Mistra's belief that only you can.
That's a really interesting thing. We're going to talk about that because I think my paladin would have some feeling on all of that. Mistra is mistaken. I will be the Absolute's destroyer. Or Gale alone? How so? Actually, yeah, he would question it. Why just Gale?
The orb.
Precisely.
Ah, okay.
Mistra has granted me the power to stop the clock, as it were, on the orb's rush to overpower you. Instead, you will be able to unleash its lethal combustion at will.
Interesting. This could be help or hindrance. We shall have to see.
You must find the heart of the Absolute, whatever that may be, and use yourself as the catalyst that will burn it from this world.
That's monstrous. You're tasking him to kill himself. Say what you will, but you can't force Gale to go through with this, or we'll be rid of both the Absolute and Gale, and we'll one foul swoop win-win. We're not going to say that. Well, we're not going to force Gale to go through with that, right? That's going to be his decision, and if so, we can find an alternative solution.
No, indeed. But I think she trusts me too.
It brings me no pleasure saying this, my friend. But such is Mistra's will. Yours must be the sacrifice that will undo the Absolute. And for your sacrifice, you will be redeemed. Such is Mistra's promise. With that, I've said my sorry piece, and need only bestow unto thee the charm I was bid. Mistrariel, Italion, Thras, Annas, It is done. Both charge and charm have been committed into your care. To you, I commit into care Gale himself. I count on you to shepherd him well on this strangest of journeys.
This is very interesting. On my honor, it shall be done. There's still a long journey ahead. We'll find another way. Well, you know what? It shall be done.
On my honor, I'm not sure yet I can say the same.
Like moons make swell and wane the nescient seas, so too the sky-strewn gods ordain the tidal fates of mortal days. And yet, an ocean born in lonely hours, come ebb, come flow, come all that is beyond the breadth of our dominion. Be a moon unto yourself. Even the waves of fate can break upon the shores of will. Farewell, my friend.
Farewell, Elminster. I'm glad she chose you.
Stabilize Gale's Netherese orb. So this is an interesting thing. So let's talk about it before we talk to Gale, because he may change this opinion that I have or share or these thoughts that I want to kind of think about here. When it comes to Gale, I like the character quite a lot. I haven't been having him in my party because he just, you know, I like being able to bash things, and me and Karlach we have fun bashing things. And honestly, Gale's power really starts unlocking right now at level 6, where he starts getting access to much more powerful spells, which is great. And then he can learn a bunch of the stuff that I even have in my inventory, because he can learn spell scrolls, which is nice. The thing to consider here is I come from a particular background when it comes to playing RPGs. I really like giving players the freedom to do what they think their character should do, right? That's how we play this game. So if I'm going to treat Gale like another player in my party, because he very well could be, you know, another player could jump in and play Gale for me. So therefore, I am going to treat Gale as he is another being in my party. If he so chooses to sacrifice himself, I am not going to be the one to say no to that. If he thinks that for his character, if Gale feels like it is best for him to do the sacrifice, and that is what he has willed for himself, then sure. If he's feeling pressured to do that from the outside for whatever reason, and is unsure of himself, I will help him. I will guide him to whatever conclusion he feels best. That's kind of my role in this. But if Gale ever decided, yes, I'm gonna sacrifice myself, I'd be like, okay, cool. Like that was your character's choice, and that's how that story is resolved from a narrative aspect. Will I be kind of sad that he's not in our party anymore? Absolutely, absolutely. And the same goes for playing tabletop RPGs. If a player decided that they wanted to sacrifice themselves, and I've seen this happen in an actual game, the player starts having their character sacrifice themselves to save the rest of the party, and the rest of the party doesn't want that to happen, and they try to prevent it. They don't realize that the player is like when he says, no, you guys go, it's like they don't realize that what he actually means is, I'm gonna sacrifice myself. I feel like this is the best thing for my character. Please go. And for whatever reason, in our game, that did not happen. That conversation wasn't made very clear. So the rest of the player, I was like, yeah, sure, whatever. That's what you want to do. But the other players were not in for that necessarily. So they didn't get the situation. So that being said, I think that that's important to mention because any of my characters in my party might try to sacrifice themselves. Karlach might try to sacrifice herself. Shadowheart, right? Astarion. We'll be happy if Astarion does. No, I'm kidding. But the thing is, I will let them do that if the characters insist on it. I'm not going to try to stop them. I will, you know, certain characters, I feel like my character has bonded with more. Shadowheart, Karlach, really, that's it. Really, wow, that's really sad. Who else have I bonded with? Not a lot. Yeah. Well, if those two tried to sacrifice himself, he would be a little bit more like, hey, please don't do this. But if they decided to do it, then it would be done.
An audience with Elminster is never less than memorable. I'd have hoped to introduce you to him in less dire circumstances, but those are hard to come by these days.
I always imagined Elminster to be more imposing. No, that seems about right. An old man with a craving for cheese, hardly the great wizard of legend. He didn't seem much of a friend, showing up and demanding you kill yourself. Or actually, I was hoping to talk about something else. No, let's do the cheese thing. I think that's funny.
A wizard doesn't reach Elminster's age without enjoying their home comforts. Those who seek danger over cheese don't tend to live as long.
Sure.
For Mystra to have sent him, the severity of her bidding could not be clearer, or weigh more heavily on me. Time seems so infinite when you're young. A month is an age. A year is a lifetime. It is a strange feeling to realize how little of it one might have left.
Wow, great. You seriously considered doing what Elminster said?
Of course. We offer the clearest solution to our problem. All I have to do is find the right place and time, close my eyes, and let go. Then the slate will be clean. Wrongs will be righted, the absolute will be gone, and I along with it.
Let's see here. I don't understand. Can't Mystra just destroy the absolute? Well, I mean, she can. That's the thing about gods. They have the option of doing certain things, but the way they choose to do those things are down to their own imperatives, and those are not necessarily easily questioned, because who are we to question it, right? So that's it. You're on a suicide mission now? Or there's surely another way. What about me? Am I safe around you? Or whatever you need to do, I'll be there to help.
I had no doubt I could rely on you. That remains ahead of us for now. The heart of the absolute must be discovered before I can stop its beating.
Sure, yeah. I'm sure we'll find it, Gale, I promise.
Then I suppose there is nothing more to be done but find the heart of the absolute and stop its beating.
Yeah, you just said that. Cool. We're gonna swap out some party members. Love you, Astarion, but you're gone, buddy. I'm gonna bring Gale in.
I can't believe Mistress demanding Gale sacrifice himself to destroy the Absolute.
I get it,
It's
though.
just a waste of a perfectly good cult that we could be controlling. And a waste of a perfectly good Gale, I suppose.
Stay in camp.
Oh, darling, I'm hurt. I thought we had something special.
Okay, yep.
I get it, Sam.
So let's go ahead and bring him on. We're gonna level him
Go
up.
ahead. I'm listening.
I feel like I want to bring him for this. Is Mystra always such a demanding goddess? You know, we got a lot to talk about here, but let's get him to join me first.
With pleasure. Lead on.
Boom. Let's level him up. We have 2 levels of wizard stuff to do, which might be a lot. So he's going up to 32 health with this one. He gets level 3 spell slots, and he gets level 3 spells. So what do we got here? We have Animate Dead. That's actually a fun one. Create an undead servant from a corpse. Bestow Curse. So we curse somebody. Blink. At the end of your turn, roll a d20. On 11 or higher, you vanish into the ethereal plane. While there, you can't be harmed or seen in this world. That's interesting. Counterspell, so freaking good. Nullify the creature's spell as a reaction. The spell must be 3rd level or lower. If it is higher, you must succeed on a check to nullify it, the difficulty of which is based on the spell's level. Probably going to grab Counterspell. It's so good. Okay, Fear, Feign Death, Fireball. Oh man, Fireball though. Grant Flight, Gaseous Form, Glyph of Warding. Haste is so good. Oh my goodness, Haste is so good. Haste is like how we enable my paladin to be a monster. Even though he already is a monster. An unstoppable monster. So basically you give them Haste, which is the +2 to armor class, advantage on dex saving throws, movement speed is doubled, and I can take an extra action per turn. Imagine me just being able to toss that out there in the middle of combat without having to drink a potion. It's very good. Glyph of Warding was inscribe a circle of arcane glyphs on the ground. When stepped on by an enemy, the selected magic effect will trigger. We got Hypnotic Pattern. You bet your butt we're going through all this, by the way. Lightning Bolt. Protection from energy. Remove Curse. Sleet Storm. Slow. Slow is also very good. Stinking Cloud. Vampiric Touch. Arcane Lock. Blindness. Blur. Crown of Madness. Darkness. And we basically know the rest of these spells, which we don't really need any of them. We're kind of covering that. So actually I think, yeah, Counterspell and Fireball are going to be our things here. They're just so good. Being able to like stop a fireball from hitting our guys or stop a hold person or something like that is so good. All right, so he's going to get more level 3 spell slots. He's going to gain Potent Cantrip. Your cantrips become harder to evade entirely. When a creature succeeds a saving throw against one of your cantrips, it takes half the cantrip's damage, but suffers no additional effects. We go up to 38 health. He's kind of squishy. I mean, he's a wizard. What do you expect? And we're going to adjust our prepared spells on this one, so don't worry if you saw me not get that. We get to learn 2 more spells, which is kind of crazy. Let's get Haste and probably Slow. I really like Slow. All the time, around up to 6 enemies to slow them. They won't go or get far, they can't do much, and they're easier to hit. Oh, it's so good. But there's also like Grant Flight is really nice. Feign Death is okay. And Vampiric Touch is pretty good. But like out of these, like what do I want? I mean, I have Fireball, so Lightning Bolt is good, but is it great? I don't know. I don't think it is. Let's go ahead and get Slow as well. So that gives us a lot of level 3 options, almost too much, honestly. So with this, we can get rid of Grease. We want to keep level 1 spells for sure, but let's get rid of Fog Cloud. Let's get rid of Ice Knife. Flaming Sphere's pretty good. I want to keep Witch Bolt for the time being. What we need though is Counterspell, Fireball, Haste, and we got to get Slow in there. And I want to get Knock because I'm getting rid of Asterion for this. So we're going to get rid of Mage Armor. We'll put Slow in there. Can I like rearrange these? No. It'd be nice if I could. Actually, can I just get rid of all of them and then arrange it as I go? That might be better because then I can go like, I have all my 3s, I have all my 2s, and now I can take 2 level 1s. So Witch Bolt and Thunder Wave, maybe? I mean, I like Tasha's a lot, but do we really need Tasha's? I like Thunder Wave because I can help Gale live with. Let's take Tasha's. Let's take some CCs to give him some support ability here. Man, that was a long level up on his part, but it's done, right? Let's also go to Gale.
With magic.
Let's mess with his stuff. So We're gonna take this stupid helmet off. He doesn't need that anymore. I think I've sorted by type over here. I had given him something. What's the Baleful? Baneful is for... This is a packed weapon, right? So that's for what's his face. The Spell Sparker, though, is a quarterstaff. Electric veins. When the wielder deals damage with a spell or cantrip, they gain 2 lightning charges. I mean, that's not bad. I mean, he's just got a staff anyway. So let's put that over there. We'll see if he ends up using that. There's these robes. You gain +1 bonus to spell save DC. Spark Swall armor. The wearer has +1 bonus to armor class and saving throws as long as they have lightning charges. Well, that's pretty good because we can gain lightning charges fairly easily with that. Featherfall might be pretty good to have for him. During combat, when the wearer starts their turn with 50% HP or less, they gain wrath. May not be bad. We just gotta like set him up here. Oh, maybe I should give him the sentient amulet too. Give him shatter. Not that he needs the key restoration either, but yeah, let's give him the shatter. We'll give him the boots. Can I I do have him selected. Okay. I mean, I wouldn't mind putting the helmet on now that we're not like talking to him in camp a bunch. I don't know. I'm not entirely sure. I mean, these Nightwalkers are so good though. Can't be enwebbed, entangled, or ensnared, and can't slip on grease or ice. He gains Misty Step, which he currently doesn't. Or no, he does have Misty Step, but I would be able to use it without a spell slot, which would be really good because he's got 4 level 1, 3 level 2s. Oh, he's got Arcane Recovery Charge. I forgot about that. Man, he's got some cool stuff. I think I'm going to give him the free Misty Step if I can. I think that's really good. And I'm not entirely sure the rest of this stuff is hyper good for him. So, I mean, he's got rings that he's missing, but I don't think I've got any rings on me to give him. What's this? No. Cool. Okay. Yeah, let's leave Gale the way he is currently and chat with him.
Have a lot on my mind.
What's on your mind?
Okay. Is Mystra always such a demanding goddess?
She expects those who seek to use the weave to do so honestly and with respect for its potential to destroy, as well as its potential to save. I doubt she's asked many of her followers to blow themselves up. That's a fate she's bequeathed exclusively to me. She wouldn't ask such a thing if it weren't our only means of survival. However much she's annoyed at me.
Interesting. Okay. How are you feeling? Can't be easy facing the possibility of death.
Oh, you know me, ever the optimist. I'm trying to focus on the positives. Truth is, I was living on borrowed time already. Consuming those items would only have kept the orb sated for so long. If anything, I feel more at peace than I have in months. At least now I know my death will have purpose. It won't be a distant bang in the footnotes of history.
So why doesn't he take on the Absolute, the Elminster? Or Mystra herself?
I've no doubt she has the power to do so, but as for the permission, Ao would not look kindly on her meddling in mortal affairs. Divine intervention has a tendency to make things worse, not better.
Fair.
As for Elminster, he saved the realms more times than legend can recount. But to take on a god is no easy feat, even for him. My orb is the best chance we have. And only I can wield it.
Okay. I was wondering about that mighty lord you told me about in your story.
Ah, yes. Karsus. Karsus was perhaps the most powerful wizard that ever lived. The child who would be a god, the elves called him. And he tried. With a spell of his own devising, he endeavored to usurp in one fell swoop The power of the goddess of magic. Mistral, she was called then. Imagine what it must have felt like. To be a god. To know yourself, to be untouchable. To be mistaken. As Karsus aimed his spell at her, she began to unravel. And with her, the entire weave. Too late did he realize what he had unleashed. It would have been the end of everything had not Mistral sacrificed herself. The goddess of magic is all magic. By dying, the entire weave was lost, and the spell that challenged a god failed. It was the end of Mistral, the end of Karsus, and the end of an entire civilization. As the child who would be a god was turned to stone, his empire came crashing down around him. The floating cities of Netheril were no more. An event that came to be known as Karsus's folly.
It's good lore there. So, at that moment in time, all magic was gone, or nothing good ever comes to mortals wanting to be gods? Yeah, let's do that one.
Loving them has its side effects as well. Now, so many centuries later, I try to follow in the footsteps of Karsus. Not to destroy Mistra, but to prove my love for her. I tried to control only a fraction of the magic that was unleashed that fateful day. I merely sought to return one tiny diamond to an imperfect crown. Gale's folly, one might call it. History, repetition. It's the way things go.
All right, let's change topics here. What do you make of having a vampire in our camp?
I know what it is to hunger. And I know what it takes to keep that hunger under control. He's done that so far, despite his condition. So long as he sates his appetite elsewhere, I'm happy to give him the benefit of the doubt.
Okay. Leave. I think we should talk to everybody else real quick about his situation, because I think they're all going to have something to say.
I can't believe Mistra actually expects Gale to just sacrifice himself like that. Seems like a waste of a fine mind.
It's very true. Okay, what's Karlak
We
think?
get along quite well, I think.
Oh, was that Gale's granddad?
Oh, that was Elminster Aumar. There we go. The most famous wizard in all the realms.
It doesn't ring a bell. But all right. Must have had something important to say to Gale if he came all this way. Good news, I hope.
Yeah, I don't think it was. Turns out Gale has an explosive bomb in his chest, and Mistra has asked him to use it to blow up the heart of the Absolute.
Whoa now, he's got a... Well, I guess that would explain a little, but... Mistra? I mean, this is a lot to take in. What's he going to do?
Don't know. I think it's going to follow through with it.
Fuck me. There's devotion and then there's stupidity. If the god of magic can't handle this without sacrificing Gale, she's no god at all. Poor Gale. He must be in bits after hearing that. I'll distract him. Tell him I haven't read a book since secondary school. Watch his face melt off.
We've got some infernal metal. What should I do with it?
Yes! We need to go find Damon. I'm going to get a hug soon.
Oh man, I can't wait to just give her a hug. That'd be great. I think she needs one. It's been a long time for her.
A shame my first brush with the famed Elminster couldn't be a tad more optimistic. Listen, I might invoke the Triad from time to time, appeal to Helm, but I'm no man of faith. Not like Gale. I don't know what drives a man to consider his own death, among countless others, to be an appropriate exchange for his goddess's forgiveness. To me, it all sounds like nonsense. The faith that matters most is that which you hold in yourself, in the ones that most matter to you. Big Bomb be damned. Gale's got everything he needs to defeat the Absolute already. Talent, nerve, and powerful allies at his side. I hope he'll come to see that.
What do you make of Raphael? It's a good question. That if you don't remember, it's that big like demon guy that came to us.
He brings to mind a story. The Devil with the Silver Tongue. An old fairy tale my father read to me. The kind with a hero, a villain, and a moral. A farmer made a deal with the devil, so the story goes. In exchange for the farmer's dearest fruit, the devil granted him a bottomless coin purse. The farmer's dearest fruit, naturally, was no apple nor peach, but his beloved daughter. We can learn a lot from fairy tales, don't you think?
With the right teacher, yes. What are your thoughts on the devil? Yeah. Spare me the parables. I have no intention of bargaining with the likes of him. Let's go with that.
That's because you still have hope. But when he becomes your last hope, remember this. He'll require of you only what you're least ready to part with, and then require more still. You might think you'd give up anything for a cure, but the devil won't take just anything. He'll take everything.
That's wise. Obviously, he's speaking from experience, right? Very wise, though. All right, let's talk to Lizelle and see what she's got.
Elminster. Even the Githyanki have heard tell of the Sage of Shadowdale. Some of his works have been translated to Tirsu. That doesn't mean his every word carries wisdom, however. Near as I can tell, Mystra demands Gale's faith, but holds no faith in him. Why else would she demand Gale sacrifice himself, and perhaps so many others? Does she not think he can destroy the Absolute with his own immense talents? Does she not know the mighty company that he keeps? Demanding Vlaakith may be, but she acts for the good of the Githyanki people. Mystra is concerned only for herself. Perhaps he'd find forgiveness in a fiery death. But I can't help but wonder why he'd want it at all.
Again, more wisdom. More wisdom. And that's the thing, is like they all have their opinions and their perspectives, and I think it's really fascinating to go through that and figure out like what exactly they're thinking, what exactly their perspective is on all of this. And in particular, I'm going to listen to Gale the most, but, well, that's because it's like his decision at the end of the day. But man, it's so cool to talk to all of them and kind of get their different perspectives on it. One thing I wanted to say is I recently just read an article, I did today, about how the reason Baldur's Gate 3 is better than other CRPGs, you know, which stands for computer RPGs, which basically this kind of game, like Dragon Age, is a CRPG. Wasteland is a CRPG. The original Fallouts are CRPGs. These turn-based combat games with a lot of RPG, a lot of text, a lot of leveling up, a lot of like Shadowrun, that series of games, which comes from a tabletop RPG, sure, but the series of video games is also a CRPG. What stands out from Baldur's Gate 3 to those games is that Baldur's Gate 3 uses in-game cinematics. So when you're talking to somebody, it's very BioWare, where you have a conversation with somebody, you see them emote. When you make your decisions, you see a list of them, but then you see the character you're talking to react. Unlike in BioWare games, minus Dragon Age Origins, where when you would respond, your character also responds and has voice acting and whatnot. It doesn't have that in this game. I wish it did. That seems to be just outside of their scope, though, for this game. Or they made a decision not to do that for reasons, whatever. I feel like that is very accurate, because when I think of those games, I think of constantly being like up here, and you're having a conversation with somebody over here, and you're just reading a bunch of text. But the fact that it does zoom you in and give you that perspective of the person that you're talking with, it makes them feel a lot more personable, and that is what sells the RPG nature of it. And I love that. And I'm really curious if you guys have noticed that. And in particular, what other games like this have you played? Is this your first kind of game like this? Or have you played other games like this, and which ones are they? And do you feel that that cinematic nature changes things for you? I'm really, really curious to see what your responses are for that particular question, because it will frame my perspective on how everybody else is receiving this game. Because personally for me, if I finish this game and it keeps up the quality that it is at, it is going to likely become one of my top 5 favorite games. It is so good, and the more that I play it, the more I want to play, and you can't speak against that. There is something to be said about when you're doing a long playthrough like this on a YouTube channel, and most of your episodes are an hour long or more, which is crazy. And I don't get burnt out on it, and I keep wanting to come back to it and play it, and the more that I think about the game, the more I want to play it. You cannot discount that. There is something magical about this game. I don't mean because it's a fantasy game. There's something magical about this game, and I think that is one of those factors, is the fact that they've taken the CRPG formula and added that like BioWare spice with the cinematics and the conversations that you have with other characters.